So you can listen to this practice wherever you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down, or even stretching and doing things, if that's what you got to do. And hopefully, wherever you are at, when you listen to this, it will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you'd like to listen to this in a still position, you can feel free to take all the time you need to arrive there. And allow yourself to fidget and adjust, stretch or move in whatever ways feel good in your bones, muscles, and joints. Doing your best to not think about the movements at all, but just letting your body move you in the ways that intuitively feel good. And if what feels best to your body right now is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. Anytime, if you haven't already, you can make your way to a still position, just feeling that the spine is nice and straight. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. And just mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath. As you take in a long and slow inhale in through the nose, and just watch yourself fill up with air to every corner and edge of you as you just hold that for a moment once you're full, to really experience that sense of fullness. And without straining, as you need to, slowly let all of that go. Exhaling slowly through the nose and just gently pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to just experience that sense of emptiness. And allow your next breath to come to you as it is needed. So you can continue to breathe in this exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful for you. Not worrying about the actual length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just letting them be exaggerated, whatever that means for you today. So as your body would naturally stop inhaling, seeing if you can expand your belly and chest a little bit more to just welcome in another moment's worth of air. And when you would naturally roll over to the exhale, seeing if you can hold off on that for an extra moment to be still with that fullness. And as you exhale, when you would naturally stop, seeing if you can push a tiny bit more air out of you to truly empty yourself. And pause for an extra moment in that emptiness. As we consciously and intentionally slow down the process of our breath. Communicating to the nervous system that right now is a time to slow down and to let go. And at any time, if you haven't already, you can release this guidance over your breath altogether and allow yourself to step back and up in the mind into the role of the observer or the witness. And releasing the voluntary guidance over the breath as you now observe the automatic process that is the body breathing. Remembering how your body does breathe all on its own, even when you are in a deep sleep. Your body functions perfectly to keep you alive without any of your doing or direction. So just seeing if you can observe these processes that exist within the body. All the work that your body does every single moment of your life to keep you alive. Stepping back and up and out of these processes so we can simply watch and observe. Remind yourself that this is not a doing or a thinking process, but one of listening and observing. And so just making a note for yourself of how you are starting your practice today. How active is the mind right now? How is the body feeling? How is the environment around you? And you can just start to bring more and more of your awareness into your ears. And really just gradually focus more and more closely on your ears. Feeling any sensations that exist here and listening closely to the environment all around you. Noticing all the different layers of sounds that exist around you. And just tuning in to your own personal soundscape. Even if there are noises around you that you might first hear as distracting or annoying, you can practice allowing every sound that you hear to be just another reminder of this present moment. Remembering that the sounds that you are currently hearing will only ever exist in this exact moment. Or even if you're in an environment that's very quiet, maybe you're hearing no sounds in particular. Just listening closely to that silence and hearing all the different sounds that still exist within silence. The symphony of the universe around you. Tuning into whatever is furthest away from the body. Maybe some traffic in the distance, or birds, or an airplane, or anything at all that is furthest away from the body that you can tune into. Just seeing how far your listening can reach. And then listening closely to whatever sound is closest to you. Listening to the space that's about a foot on every side of you. And every layer of sound in between, what is closest to the body and furthest away from the body. And just allowing your awareness to naturally dance and jump to the sounds that you feel drawn to. Listening closely there. And as your attention is drawn somewhere else, listening closely there. Maybe even starting to hear the sound of your own body. Reminding yourself that you are the only one who is hearing exactly what it is you are hearing right now. Even if there are others in your exact environment, the unique shape of your ears, the unique sounds from your own body, what you choose to tune into. There is nobody else out there who is hearing exactly what it is you are hearing right now, in the way that you are hearing it. The combination of your unique environment along with your internal environment, the sound of your own heartbeat, your gentle breath, any sounds of your digestion. And just start to focus more and more on your ears. Any physical sensations that you feel in the ears. And the next sound that you hear, following that sound with your awareness into the ears, into the eardrums, and through the ear canals. As your awareness meets together at the space between the inner ears, at the very center of the skull. And allowing all the muscles in your face and head to soften beneath this pulse. Feeling your jaw release a little bit more tension. Your chin and nostrils. Your eyelids and cheeks. The eyebrows and the whole forehead. I'm feeling your hairline and the ears soften. As you just let all of your awareness be on the steady pulse that is between the inner ears. Even if you just tune in for a moment, allowing your body to soften under this pulse. And with your awareness, just tracing that space from the center of the skull down through the throat and into your heart. And remember that innate connection between your heart and your head. Feeling that same pulse that exists in your head, in your heart. And the same pulse that is in your heart, in your head. Maybe even placing one or both hands on top of the heart to just encourage that feeling from the outside as well, if you have trouble tuning in today. And just remind yourself of the pure gift that this heart truly is. And how this exact heart has been pumping life into you from before you were even breathing air, from the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment. This heart has been working hard for you and keeping you alive. This heart has been your steady background beat to every single thing you've done in your life. And it will continue to be for as long as you are in this body. And allow this heart to be all the proof you need of your worthiness of this heart and of this life. There is nothing you need to do to prove yourself or to prove your worth. There's nothing you need to do to prove your worthiness of life. But the simple fact that you have this, simple fact that you have a beating heart, that you are alive, is the proof of your worthiness of it. The simple fact that you exist in this body means that you are worthy to exist in this body. And we will all go through periods of time where we forget, where we question ourselves, question our purpose and our worth. But even in those times where we forget and where we don't feel worthy, beneath all of that fear and doubt is that deep knowledge and truth that you are worthy, or else you would not be here. And so you can just allow your pelvic floor to widen and lengthen, and your glutes to relax deeply as you just allow yourself to be held and supported by the surface that is beneath you. Trusting that as you let go, you will not be crushed and you will not float away, but you will be held and supported by the earth beneath you and by the force of gravity all around you, right where you need to be. And it is safe for you to relax. It is safe for you to allow yourself to be exactly as you already are. Even when there are aspects of yourself or your life that you don't like or that you want to change, you are allowed to accept where you are and who you are right now. Knowing that accepting who you are does not mean that you agree with every aspect or like every aspect. It simply means that you acknowledge the aspects that make you who you are. You're acknowledging reality, which is the first and necessary step in any real change. And it is possible for you to love and accept yourself exactly as you are right now, and at the same time have goals and aspirations to be somewhere different. And so just be so kind and patient with yourself wherever you are in the process of change, knowing that there will always be a period of time between when we recognize we need to make a change and when we actually have the power and strength and resources to make those changes. And a very comforting metaphor that I like to remind myself of comes from Hellenistic astrology. It's the metaphor of the moon and the sun. The moon is the representation of our physical body, our bones, muscles, joints, skin, everything in between. And the sun is the representation of our soul, that spark within us that animates our body. Just like the moon, our body does not have its own light, but our body reflects the light of our soul, just like the moon reflects the light from the sun. And there are times where the moon is fully illuminated by the sun. It is whole, it is bright, and it shines light for others in the darkness. And there are other times where that exact same moon is a new moon. It's not reflecting any light. It is still there, but it is in the shadows, kind of hiding away. And then there are all the phases in between, the new moon and the full moon. And we are just like the moon. We are not meant to be full all of the time. Just like everything else in nature. Plants are not meant to be flowering and blooming all of the time. We are part of nature. We are meant to be living this human experience and all that comes with that, which are periods of growth and connection and joy and happiness, as well as periods of death and decay and disconnection and maybe feeling lost. And just know that in whatever phase you are in, it is temporary. And the only thing that we can all guarantee and count on in this life is that things change. Everything changes, especially how we feel. And our feelings can have a very successful way of tricking us that how we are feeling right now is how we've always felt and how we always will feel, especially those more depressive episodes can really fool you that this is how it's always been and how it always will be. But you can know that that will never be true. That is impossible. The only thing that is true is that everything changes. And so that can be a great comfort to you if you're in a phase right now that you don't like, that you want to change, because it will. It will change. And that can also be a great permission for you to fully feel and make the most of the good stuff you're feeling, because that too will change. And you can release any guilt you might feel if you're feeling good when you know that others are suffering. And instead shift that into sharing the light that you have and being that full moon and shining light for others in the darkness while you can. And being so kind to yourself if you're in a phase right now where you aren't capable of that. Trusting that that phase will come again one day. So you can continue to feel whatever is here for you to feel right now. continue to remind your body to soften, the muscles in your body to ungrip from the bones. Allow your body to breathe freely and deeply. And just listen to the following words that are written by young Pueblo in his book, Clarity and Connection. And just allow anything that feels like it resonates with you to soak into you a little bit deeper. And not worrying about the rest. Expectations cause great misery for the individual. We are constantly creating narratives of how we want things to be and how we want others around us to act. These narratives invariably lead to disappointment because these stories we crave are often dashed and broken by unrealistic expectations, circumstances beyond our control, and the randomness of the external world. We forget that what unites all human beings is our ignorance and room for improvement. We each carry conditioning that clouds our perspective. Our time on earth is an opportunity to overcome mental limitations, such as unforgiving expectations and a desire to control everything. Limitations that impede us from complete freedom and happiness. As we do the work of examining our inner world, it is unfair for others to expect us to be perfect, and for us to expect others to be perfect. Especially when perfect often means having others fulfill our every desire. In a world full of imperfect people, patience and forgiveness become essential. It is easier to let go of someone's opinion of you when you understand that others see you through a combination of their past conditioning and their current emotional state. Without realizing it, they see themselves first, and through that lens, they get an unclear picture of you. There may be times when you feel like a lot of what you've understood no longer makes sense. This might make you feel as though you have regressed, but it is actually a sign that you are opening new space for deeper wisdom and greater perception. When your previous understandings disintegrate, they are not always immediately replaced by better or deeper understandings. When you take your growth seriously, you will often find yourself in this in-between state. It is okay to live without clear answers. Growth is not about forcing understanding. It is about allowing it to grow organically. As you shed old programming and your perspective expands, what you once enjoyed may shift, and situations that once caused tension may no longer trouble you. As your mind becomes clearer and lighter, the world begins to look new. Periods of integration in which you get to know yourself again are just as important as great leaps forward. The world is a giant pool of moving vibrations, waves of energy emitted from all beings. When we cultivate our minds, we cleanse our personal vibe. We reclaim our power by not yielding to what flows around us and by allowing what is within us to come forward. Remember, the energy you most often repeat is the energy you will most easily connect with. Your vibration is always shining and affecting your environment. Reclaiming your power is noticing when a story based on assumptions is making your mind tense, and intentionally bringing yourself back to the present moment as a way to cut the delusion. It is not about managing your emotions. It is about managing your reactions to your emotions. We are not trying to control or manage the way we feel. We are trying to accept the shifts in our mood as the mind weaves through the large spectrum of emotions, moving from one emotion to the next, spending more time in some than others, but still traveling the whole human experience. We immediately and unconsciously react to strong emotions. Our reactions not only strengthen the emotion we are feeling, but they imprint upon us and accumulate within the subconscious, priming us to react similarly in the future. We can manage our reactions not by controlling what we feel, but just by bringing awareness into the process. It is hard to change what you cannot see. The light of awareness is especially useful when our reaction to a momentary emotion starts to undo our balance and mental clarity. Our awareness lights up the darkness and helps us to see more options and information. When we remember that emotions are impermanent, just like everything else in this universe, it becomes easier for us to stand next to the river that is the human mind and watch as things flow by. Self-awareness helps us overcome blind reactions that make already difficult situations more turbulent. Without self-awareness, it is difficult to make choices that differ from those you've made in the past. Know your sources of rejuvenation. The amount of solitude you need to feel fresh again. The activities that strengthen your creativity. And the people who light up your spirit. Just take the next few moments to allow every word you've heard today to settle. As if every word you've heard was a little speck of glitter within a snow globe. And now is the time where we set the snow globe down and allow the air to clear and the words to settle. And trust that anything at all that you heard today that really resonated with you or struck a chord with you in some way, felt helpful in some way. Trust that those feelings can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of us already knows to be true on the inside. And so just allow those truths to be enhanced within you, so you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. Trusting that you already know exactly what it is you need to do, if that is anything at all. And know that there is not one person out there who can teach you more about yourself, your sense of purpose, and just who you are in your life journey better than what quiet time with yourself can teach you. And you never have to give that power away to anyone else. If anyone ever tries to convince you that they know you better than you, or they know what's best for you better than what you know, you can just let those phrases be a cue for you to turn your attention back inward and never give that power away. That is your greatest strength. All of our greatest strengths is our relationship with ourselves. And there will never be anyone who spends more time with you than you, that knows your emotions, your dreams, your goals and purpose, that knows you better than you. And you always have the ability to reclaim that power if you have given it away in the past. Again, just being so patient and kind to yourself wherever you are in your journey. And trust that small daily actions that best support you in your love and purpose will get you where you want to be, where you will be. And doing the things that is best for you is ultimately what is best for those around you as well, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. But you acting based on your self-love will automatically allow others to do the same for them, or remind others that that is always an option for them as well. So if it feels like something you would like to do today, you can just let the pulse of your palms be drawn to one another as you bring your hands together in a prayer position toward heart center. And just feel this pulse of your palms into one another, and allow your heart to lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. As you tune in once again to this unique, steady rhythm that is your own heartbeat. And allow yourself to take a final deep and full breath into the body as you fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, letting go of anything you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. And take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.